Greetings everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am coming here this week to kind of talk about what I was talking about last week, but I'm not talking about it from the white perspective. I'm talking about it from the black perspective, if you know what I mean. You defend your blackness all the time in white spaces, especially if you're the only one. But sometimes you could also be defending your blackness amongst your own black people. It's kind of a double-edged sword. It sucks, but you gotta find your way. You gotta figure out how you're gonna defend yourself from both spectrums. So I'm gonna talk about my childhood for a second to kind of put it in perspective, and how I didn't know how to defend my blackness back then, because shoot, at that point I didn't know what I was looking for. So you got black girls at my church. They're just like little clique and they always make fun of me and I had no idea why. I was just calling my mom's name. I was like, mom, or whatever. And the girls just started laughing at me for calling my mother mom instead of ma or mama or whatever. Like, I wasn't used to calling my mom like that, so I would just say mom. I'm not going to name names or anything, but I remember this girl and the other girls around them just laughing in my face because I called my mother mom. I felt really ashamed. I understood why they were laughing at me. I understood it was because I wasn't like them in the way that I greeted my mother or the way I spoke to my mother. So that was a time that I didn't know how to defend my blackness. The other thing was, I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger I had a lot of hair, and there is this stigma in the black community where the longer your hair is, the better it is. I don't know what it is, but at that point people were still getting perms, and perms, depending on your hair type, just didn't work for you. So when you would get a perm, let's say another person would get a perm, or like let's say they always had their hair in braids, their hair is not going to grow. So like when they finally take those braids out and you try to wear your hair the way it is, it's just not going to look as luscious or as full. And we've come a long way in the hair community, the black hair community, since then, so we know those things, but like back then we didn't. And I know my mom never sent us to a hairdresser. She always did her hair, she always did our hair herself. And honestly, I never really put my hands in my own head until I was in my teens. So in that regard, I used to get a lot of compliments from the older ladies, usually these little girls' mothers, about my hair. And I felt that they felt some type of way and they got upset and they would just taunt me because of partially my accent, partially my hair, and I also have light skin privilege. As a black woman, I have light skin privilege, and that has something to do with it too. So that's that. So not being able to defend my blackness back then amongst my own people really put a damper in my identity for a while. And I would say I haven't been able to defend it until recently. It took me
pretty much 27 years
to defend my own blackness, and I'm getting real good at it. So for instance, the last video I posted, I had someone tell me that they can't take my thoughts seriously or my opinions about defending my blackness seriously because I was wearing contacts. Because I was wearing contacts that I chose to wear. Now, I'm not going to get into that, but at that point I had to defend my blackness. I was like, okay, first off, I'm still black whether I'm wearing blue contacts, purple contacts, pink contacts, or no contacts. So for you to come and say that you can't take me seriously, yes, that's your opinion, it's whatever, but like, don't discount my color, my blackness, because I'm wearing contacts that I choose to wear as a fashion statement, not necessarily, oh, because I don't like my actual eyes. To wrap this up a little bit, all I'm going to say to those people that feel as though they can't defend their blackness for whatever reason, especially amongst their own black people, it's very difficult, especially somebody, okay, so in this day and age, we have a lot more educated black folks than we ever have ever. And us as a people, we fall into this category. And if you read Michelle Obama's book, if you read any book of an educated black person, not necessarily educated, but somebody who comes from a well-rounded background, there is this fine line between growing up and being taunted and basically just kind of stripped down the pieces by your own people, also by your own family. There is no excuse for someone to come and try to take your blackness away from you. No matter the color of their skin, they should not be doing that. There is something in them that they have not come to terms with, that they feel the need to make you feel bad about yourself. Like, I've been through a lot lately, and I have awakened to this brand new mindset, and I love it. I don't feel conformed. I don't feel compressed. Like I can only say certain things to make whoever feel great. I don't care anymore. I am a free, open book. Talk to me. I'll tell you about anything about my life. I don't really care because it's my life. And if I feel like talking about it, I will. And that's how all black people should be. But in this day and age, in this society, it's very difficult because of the way that society has been built. So as I've been doing this Black History inspired episodes on this channel, I have started to kind of transform how I want the rest of these videos to pan out. I have been thinking, yes, we have Black history and it needs to be celebrated. But every year that goes by, there's more Black history being made. And the stuff that I did last year is technically considered Black history. When people think of Black history, they think about basically just the civil rights movement and everything before that. And that's not the case. Black history is everything up until February 1st of whatever year it is. At least for this channel, I want to focus on making Black history better for Black Americans in the future. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that just yet, but I want to make sure that I'm covering everything that needs to be said in order for, I feel, for that to happen. Because there's so many topics within the Black community that just don't get spoken about much. And rather than going back in the past and reiterating what's happened, because we can do that, but there's so many other channels and so many resources that are already doing that I don't feel, at least for me, that it's important that I reiterate that on my channel. Now, also, Black History Month is a month. And technically, I celebrate my Blackness all year round, 365 days a year. So there's that. I guess this is just a message for anyone who feels as though someone is challenging their Blackness. And you need to know that no one, absolutely nobody, can take your Blackness away from you. No matter what they say, no matter what their opinions are of you, you're still Black at the end of the day. Whether you decide to dye your hair a different color, or wear colored contacts, or speak a specific way that Black people aren't expected to speak like. I can go on and on. Whether you decide to date out of your race, whether you, I don't know, wear Tommy Hilfiger, whatever, you're still Black. Now, I'll definitely talk about this later on, and I can't wait until I start bringing some more people onto this channel to talk about it. But until then, just gonna get my thoughts laid out, because this is Jmixplains everything. I'm here to defend the Blackness of everybody, no matter what you decide to wear or not wear, and to do or not do. I'm defending it for you. I'm defending it for me. I'm defending it for the future Black folks of the world, because it needs to be done. And I feel as though a lot of people, they forget that Blackness is not just one type of thing. It's a spectrum of things, especially in this day and age, in 2019. Like, you're not just going to say that this type of person is Black and this type of person is not. It's like I am just as black as the other person. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. And I can't wait to talk to y'all again next week or before then. We'll see. Y'all have a great day or a great night, wherever you're watching this from.